Hey everybody, John from the training room here today. Real quick, I want to talk a little bit about sprained ankles. A conversation came up in the facility last night about sprained ankles, and I started to write an article, or maybe even shoot like a demonstration video, but I think it'd be easier just quickly to explain what we talked about and what the situation is. Sprained ankles, yes, are, and this is how the conversation came up, sprained ankles are far more severe or more dangerous and have longer lasting negative impacts than people realize sometimes. You know the expression that a sprain is worse than a break? In a lot of cases it is, and obviously there are a lot of variables there. But the short version is this: if you sprain an ankle, what happens is your body alters your gait to avoid pain. Every time you put your foot down, if you have a sprained ankle, every time your foot touches the ground, obviously there's going to be pain. So your body changes the position and changes the manner in which your foot touches the ground to avoid pain. 99 times out of 100, this is not a conscious decision. Your body just kind of does it automatically because it doesn't want to hurt. You don't realize it. Like most of the time, you don't say, okay, I'm going to put my foot here, and then I'm going to shift the weight there, and then I'm going to drive off here. It doesn't work that way. Your body just does it automatically because it doesn't want to hurt. So what happens is sometimes, depending on the severity of the sprain, sprains take a long time to heal sometimes. So now if you're walking with that altered gait for an extended period of time, eventually that becomes a normal gait. So your foot is, on the uninjured side is landing and acting in one manner. On the injured side, it's acting and moving in a completely different manner. Now, this creates other issues. And again, because the pain eventually goes away, you don't realize that this is abnormal. It's just an abnormal movement that now is no longer abnormal, it's normal. The problem is the abnormal movement is now creating problems elsewhere. If your foot is not in the right position, your knee's not going to be in the right position. If your knee's not in the right position, your hip is not going to be in the right position. We've talked about this before. The other larger issue, and anyone who has trained here at the TR understands this, if you can't drive down on your heel really hard, your glutes and hips are not working, basically. And I'm kind of laughing now because it's a big joke around here. I'm always, getting on people, drive on the heel, drive on the heel, drive on the heel, because that's what gets the glutes firing, and that's what keeps the knee healthy and the back healthy. If you have a sprained ankle and you're trying to avoid pain and your body doesn't want to push down on the heel and you can't drive down on the heel, and then eventually that becomes normal where you're never pushing down on the heel and you're never driving down on the heel when you squat and when you lunge, guess what? Your glute is going to get shut off because it's not being used anymore. It literally is just like, if you pull the plug on a machine. You're pulling the plug on your glute if you can't drive your heel down because it's just not working anymore, so it stops working. And yeah, altogether now, if your glute is not working, you're really susceptible to back problems and knee problems. So if you have a sprained ankle, take it seriously. Take some time to rest. Don't, try to push your way through things that are just going to create further issues. Secondly, once the pain does go away and you come back to exercising or your workouts or your recreational activity or whatever, first focus on bilateral movements where your feet are parallel, facing the same direction. Squats, really, if anything, even if you're doing a standing row or some kind of standing press, start with bilateral stuff where you can get both sides working in unison at the same time. Once you can do that pain-free and relatively well from a posture and movement standpoint, then switch to single leg stuff. And if you switch to single leg squats, storks, single leg lunges with stabilization, you'll probably notice how you feel different on one side to the other. And as long as you're diligent and paying attention to your form, and you're diligent in terms of doing it consistently, and you're okay with practicing and not just, beating the hell out of yourself by doing box jumps, as long as you do that, it will start to improve over time. It'll start to get better over time. And the likelihood of you having a knee or a back problem as a result of a sprained ankle decreases greatly. I speak from experience. I sprained my ankle pretty severely when I was a kid, before I knew about, biomechanics and physiology. So I kind of speak from experience here. So you just need to be diligent about getting back into it the right way. Start bilateral stuff, then switch to single leg stuff. And 99 times out of 100 it works out. Knock wood, I don't have any knee or back problems of which to speak at this point, okay? So, like I said, that's the short version. If you need any more specifics or have any questions, you know where to contact me. Thanks.